Diane has very few annoying habits, but she has one that drives me fucking-sane, and she just did it here a minute ago. Tell them what it is.
I guess coughing and saying, excuse me.
No, not that. It's putting on your seatbelt when you get to a stop sign, when you're pulling out of like a gas station or anything. That's when she starts putting on her seatbelt. Me, as we're approaching any exit, I'm looking at traffic because I can't stand any of it to get out.
Okay, let me tell you when he puts his seatbelt on. He puts his freaking seatbelt on when he's about 20 miles down the road. That's when you put yours on.
It always happens that there's this clear line, but she doesn't pay any attention to that. She doesn't look. She just starts putting on her seatbelt, and I'm like, okay, here comes all the traffic.
I don't know why you're in such a hurry.
By the time she gets it on, we can't get out.
We're not in a hurry. Who cares?
Yeah,
I don't understand it. If that is what bothers you the most about me, then I would consider yourself pretty freaking lucky. If that's the worst shit I do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not making a big deal out of it.
Well, you're making a big deal about it because you're freaking bringing it up.
No, I'm just talking.
Look at the ferry.
Oh, paddle boat. Two of them.
Wonder where they're going.
I think that's over the Suicide, isn't it? And they have those too. They
oh, with the Suicide Bridge. Yeah, I guess so. Suicide Bridge restaurant.
So, we got the dogs in the car and we're making a quick road trip. They're excited to go. They have no idea where they're going, but they're not going to like it too much because, you know, we got that property as a hunting property, and I'm very particular with it. I'm working so hard down there to get all the millet in and the sorghum and take care. And what the hell's the use of a hunting property if there isn't anything to hunt on the damn thing? I'm just not talking about me. Probably wouldn't care if I ever shot the next thing ever. The guys that are coming in, we have big plans. So I have been nursemaiding these couple of flocks of turkeys that we have on the property. More than a couple. And one of them is a huge flock. There's 21 birds in it. So I opened the damn door yesterday out the back with Coda, and Michonne is asleep on the golf cart. She's just sunning herself. When she heard us come out, she opened her flipping eyes, and there were 21 turkeys standing right there, and she blew up.
It's their yard. That's their yard. Those turkeys had no business in their yard.
It's my yard. It's not even your yard. It's my yard.
Oh hell.
And you never saw such a melee in your life. Those turkeys couldn't figure that shit out. And they just stood there. As they'd attack one, you know, it would fly, or a couple more would fly, and the others would just kind of standing there like stupid turkeys until it was their turn to be attacked. And they scattered 20, and they wouldn't listen. I could not stop them. And of course, my yelling wasn't helping the situation.
That was what was the most annoying.
Turkeys went across the river, all down in this woods, and to hear them out there once the melee was over, you know, the hens trying to recall all these young birds from across the river. And so I have no other choice. I can't take them with me, you know, on the carts to feed in the morning. I can't take them out in the woods to hump. They just chasing all the deer, all the turkeys. You know, I want to look out my back window and see flocks of geese and all that millet, birds coming in. That shit just isn't going to happen. They're just...
In their defense, they lived on 5 acres, which might not sound like very much, but it's a lot to 2 Pomeranians. And when Moose was alive, Moose would go hunting every night for possums, for squirrels, for moles, and he would come in with something with little Michonne right on his tail, and they got praised up. Good boy, good girl, you got a possum, you got a mole. We made a big deal out of it. So they don't know the freaking difference between a possum and a turkey. They don't know.
They will.
So they need to be trained. And honestly, it is the last resort. But the only thing that we can think to do is to get those damn shocking collars, which we both said we would never, ever do. We've had people come down to our house in Chesapeake, and the dogs would have it on. Well, the reason they did is because they wouldn't come. So our friends had no choice. But most of our friends said there's a great training tool that if the dog is smart, they're only going to have to be shocked a couple of times, and then simply by just putting the collar on them, they will know and they'll stop the bad behavior. And we think that's what's going to happen because they are smart. They're smart as hell.
Figured it out real quick, and very good trained dogs. They don't like to take this, but when I say no, by God, that means no. I want to be able to take them out and enjoy the property with them, but they get on something's trail, and I yell no, buddy, you're going to stop doing what you're doing. The only thing else I can think of doing is to keep them locked up until I'm ready to go out and do a little something, and I'll sneak onto all the neighbors' properties and let them scare everything off of their property, and hopefully it'll come onto mine, and then I'll just keep them locked up. Only thing I can do.
Well, we can't put up one of those underground fence things because we're surrounded by water, and they swim, and they can get through anything. So that's just not going to work. So this is the last resort. We're going to buy 2 shocking collars. Don is so good training animals. I mean, people have hired him to train their dogs. He's really good at it, and it's just, this is brand new to these dogs. It's brand new to all of us, and we need a little bit of help. So we're going to go get a couple of collars, and it's going to work good.
Well, I'm looking at the deluxe model, and that one requires a car battery. We're going to fit a car battery on their back and get that collar on them.
I actually bought one for Coda when we were still in Virginia because I got him as a puppy, and he just went. Now, Michonne never did that. Michonne stayed very close to Mooj. Mooj never left the property. Mooj didn't go over to the neighbor's house. But this Coda, man, he'd run over to that neighborhood, and we were so afraid he was going to get killed on Gallbush Road because it's a logging road. Logger trucks go up and down through there, and they fly. So I went and bought one, and when we got it home, it was bigger than his head, wasn't it? It was so huge. It was just obnoxious. So we never put it on him. Hopefully we can find a couple of small ones. Hey, I'd really be quiet if I was you. You have no idea where Daddy's headed. That would be a good idea to piss him off.
I like my turkeys. Important for the geese. Everything. It's a peaceful place to come to. But occasionally there'll be some gunfire on them. And then they can smell them and all they want. So, that's it. Try to put on your seatbelt somewhere else.
And I have a greenhouse for the first time in my life. And it's been so daggone hot in August that you literally just couldn't even walk in there. It's like walking into an oven. But it's nice now. The windows are open and shut. It's nice and comfortable. So I've bought seeds. I've already got 3 or 4 plants started, and they're doing well. So I'm going to go into a garden center or Lowe's or somewhere, and hopefully they've got their sets out, for the fall crops, because I'd like to grow some cabbage. I'm going to start some potatoes. I know that this is off season, but I'm hoping that in the greenhouse that it's going to work. But I'm going to try my first hand at really growing some stuff and from seeds, and I need those long little things where you can put them in. See, he understood what you said. Don't put that on me. So we're getting excited. I was very excited to come down when it was hot because I'd never had a swimming pool, and now I got a swimming pool. I enjoyed the shit out of it, but now it's about ready to be covered up. It's getting cool. The water's too cold to get in, so I'm ready to start enjoying some other things about the property that I've never had. And I think that greenhouse is really going to be fun for me. It looks like it's even got a radiator heater in that thing, but we've not had to turn the heat on yet. It's oil heat, so I'm hoping that that heater will work, so when it's snow outside on the ground, I can be in there nice and warm and tending to my plants. So I'm excited about it. Garage sale. Oh, look, Don. We'll be stopping at that on the way back, won't we?
I know, buddy. You just want to chase turkeys, but you can't do it. You just can't do it. Get some lunch somewhere?
Yep.
It's Sunday afternoon, and we are on our way to the Grand National Waterfowl Association Benefactors Lunch. I don't even know what a benefactor is. What's a benefactor?
I don't know, but we are one of them.
Somebody can tell me. Like the trail cameras that I went through the big fiasco with because they put the box, or they didn't mail it or send it right or whatever the hell it was. We bought the 2 shock collars for the dogs yesterday, and I smartened up real quick. I went outside and I opened one. I could see that it had been opened before and put back up on the shelf, and of course this shit wasn't in there. I don't know why people do that. So we went back and we got what we needed. They're charging now. I tested the one of them. It's a tinkle, and for the dogs it'll make a beeping sound when you're pissing me off. I can hit that little beep thing and remind you you're about to get the tingle. But I tested it out. It's nothing, but it'll be enough hopefully to get their attention and irritate. It's got to stop. So it's going to be hard with Michonne. Coda's just as bad.
What'd you do? Shock yourself?
Of course I did.
Well, don't it have settings where you can shock them like worse?
Yeah. But that tingle is just enough. It's just an irritating little electrical tingle.
Well, I'd just like to try the one that's the most powerful on you when we get home, just to see how bad that'd be. Okay?
The tingle was enough. But we went fishing last night, and I figured these damn things out. I've been using bloodworms, and they're $10. They're over $10 a dozen for those things. And those crabs strip them off of the hook so fast, it's really hard to tell if you're getting a bite from a fish or a bite from a crab, because those crabs will rip that bobber under. I mean, they're going to the bottom with that thing, and they see anything, they come right off of the bottom and grab onto it, and they will just cut that hook to pieces, that bait off of that hook. And I figured it out last night. No, I went fishing with Michonne. She went absolutely ballistic ape shit out there, and so did Coda. They just love fishing, and I started nailing them. And so I just had a straight hook on there with a heavier sinker and a big bobber, and I'd throw that sucker out. Instead of waiting for the fish to find it, which is always a crab, I just slowly start reeling that thing in. And I can tell the difference now between a crab striking it and a fish. And I did pretty damn good last night, just pulling that thing in and letting them hit it. Caught a couple of really nice small striped bass and some nice white perch. And so that's the key out there. I've got some little spinners on some hooks that I'm going to hook up and try tonight. And I think I'm just going with some straight night crawlers because I don't think anybody gives a shit. I got to get some night crawlers. But just reeling it in slowly, bringing it, and they were just nailing the hell out of it. So had a lot of fun last night, and the tide was really, really low. And I could really see the cove out there for the first time, and it was just Oyster City. So I got down there in my nice shoes that were being sucked off my feet, and I grabbed a half a dozen oysters and brought them back up, and they were good. Ate a couple, threw the rest back in there, but now I know where to go, how to get them. I just got to get one of those little floating baskets and just accumulate them, put them in the basket as I'm humping around a pair of hip waders or something.
If I could get some free oysters, because I tell you, I can eat the shit out of them things. I love oysters. Anyway, I love them anyway. Fried, raw, oysters, Rockefeller, I love them. Yeah. That's going to be nice to just be able to go out there and get me a couple of dozen.
I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and accumulate some bushels of them and drop them off of the dock. And that's what my dad used to do. He would drop them off one side of the dock and then tong them up when he wanted some. And then he would throw the shells on the other side of the dock so that they could regrow, do little oysters and things like that to keep things going. And so we're big oyster fans. It's down here, so I'm going to start accumulating them and dumping them off the side of the dock out there where I know they're at. And then when I went to school down here, there's a place down here called Tillman Island, and that was a rough bunch of boys. You just didn't fuck around with the boys from Tillman Island. It was a very close-knit community down there. We haven't been down there in a long time, but they were watermen. And to tong up those oysters, they were often using these oyster tongs, these 30-foot cedar shafts, and these huge baskets, and they'd drop them down, and they'd slide them down on the bottom, and they'd feel those oysters, and they'd just gather up.
So they were strong boys.
Rip them up and dump them and then do it again. And those guys had backs on them that looked like that. They all wore cat diesel power hats. They were total rednecks, and you didn't fuck with them in school because you were going to get your ass kicked by one of them. And complete clannish guys. So yeah, I went to we're going to turn here on Town Point Road.
I know where I'm going.
Yeah, you do. And yeah, so we got some oysters.
Well, the place.
I don't know if there's any gas down here. Do you really need gas bad? No, that will be fun.
Well, where we're going over here, to Hooper's Island, Taylor's Island, they're some of the same as far as clannish and real tight-knit community and stuff. Don and I loved it. We almost bought a place over here. We liked that. We liked that everybody knows everybody. Everybody helps each other out. Very clannish. And they sort of speak their own language over here. So I'm excited to be going today.
It's no damn different here where we're at. Everybody knows everybody around here, man. I mean, this is Hooterville. And me and Diane aren't abrasive in any way, but we're careful how we talk to people around here. You know, things that we're doing, decisions we're making. Because I tell you what, I don't want anybody pissed off at me around here. So, going over here, but yeah, they're very clannish around here. It's a great thing. I think it's they kind of picnic today for the Grand National, because this is just waterfowl central. That's this. All of it.
Your mother reminded me this morning to tell you that the Waterfowl Festival in Easton should be coming up pretty soon. She said, remind Donnie to check the dates.
Yeah, I said that yesterday. That'll be about any time, the Waterfowl Festival down here. And, It's just a freak show of everything waterfowl. This just is waterfowl, ducks and geese. So we got a nice bunch of deer and turkeys, but everything is about the water, the crabbing, the fishing, and the turkeys. And we're looking at the deer, waterfowl, geese. We're looking at boats. So now I got to get a boat, and everything around here is a dead rise. That's what the typical waterman boats are. Chesapeake Bay dead rise, and they're really, really nice boats. They're built specifically for the bay and the water activities on it, and the fishing, the crabbing, the oystering, and the hunting out of them as well for the sea ducks. And
they're cool looking. Look at little old boy on that four-wheeler. He's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, he's gonna get killed.
The boats are cool. The older they are, the cooler they are. They're wood, and they're flat on the bottom, so like you can walk around, and got all the crab pots and stuff on the back of them. And we went down to a little marina thing a couple of days ago, and I just couldn't stop looking at them. Just the history, you can just see the history, and every one of those boats was very cool. Now, you got her talking to me again?
Yeah, 3 miles. So, one of them they're selling over on Tillman Island. It's 42 feet. 42 or 48. I forget what the hell it was, and reasonable. And just a big old diesel engine, banging it out and getting it out in the bay, because, Dave sent me all those nice rods and reels. I just need a good boat to get us on out of there, and I'm going to get the right boat. I'm in no hurry to do it. Winter's coming up, and we're just taking it slow and steady here with the charity. This is never going to be something so big that we can't easily manage, and I'm not looking for another job. I'm going to bring some guys and gals down and some families down for some fun activity and not kill ourselves in the process. We're too old for that, and we don't want it. So slow and steady.
Well, Don and I sat out loud. I had a good evening, by the way, last night. We sat out there, and I hate to admit it, but I got a little chilly. So did you.
Yeah, it's good enough.
We had our little fire pit thing going, and we both went in and got some dislike jackets and put on. And then we ended up moving into the screened-in porch, and that's turned out to be a very cool little place to hang out and sit and have a drink. But we were talking about it, and we don't want it to be big. We've worked all of our lives. We do not want another job. We do not want anything that's going to cause us stress. This is supposed to be 120% of giving back to deserving people and to our supporters that have supported us. We were talking about that last night, and as soon as Laz completes his mental checkup, we'd like to get Laz down here too. We love you, Laz, but we do. We want to, small little spurts, be able to get 2 or 3 people down at a time, and just for the weekend, come down and crab and get some oysters and eat and sit around and tell lies to each other. That's what we want this to be about. And when we're talking about giving back, we're also talking about giving back to you all, because you are the ones that's making this happen. You're the ones that have enabled us to be able to even dream about doing this through this website and through the generosity of you guys. So we sat and talked about all of you and things that we wanted to do, and it was a good evening, wasn't it?
It's just a fun place to hang out, and there's just no stress on us outside of clearing up some of our stuff that we got going on now. There's nothing down there, and so yeah, it's a place for being social and bring guys down. It's just easy to entertain. There's always something to do, and so yeah, we're excited about it.
He's finally given in I've been hollering and hollering. He's been talking about that barn being piled up with all that shit, and it is. It's from floor to ceiling. So during our nice conversation yesterday, he finally gave in and said, okay, you can hire him. The 3 guys that I hired to help me and my mom and Debbie with the charity stuff that was being delivered, they were great guys. They did a good job. They were very thorough. They didn't make a mess. And we've hired him again since then. So I called him at the final hour, and they have agreed to come down tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and he's going to finally have some help. So hopefully he'll quit bitching about that barn, because just sometimes you got to ask for help. And that is hard. I think it's hard for a lot of men to do, but it is extremely hard for this one to do. He just won't ask for help when he needs it. So I'm excited to get that thing cleaned out.
We're almost here. We'll see what happens.
That was a nice time.
Figured out what a benefactor is, and that's a donator, and yeah, that's what we are. We've donated the hunts for these wounded guys getting down here for the Grand National. This isn't on Extreme Seal Adventures. We're asked to do that, and we're taking them out to hunt. So the Grand National, is a big production, and guys come in from all over the country, perhaps the world, and you are taken to different parcels of property that people donate these hunts to. So we're one of those. We're getting my brother-in-law and 2 nephews up here and getting them into the Grand National so they can duck and goose hunt. And then we're donating the hunts to the wounded guys, and I'm taking them out duck hunting. I by God mean to put them on some birds. And that is just the place to learn all this stuff. I've already found out I'm making some small mistakes. I don't make big ones, but the old guys there are just this huge wealth of knowledge. There you go.
I won't be long.
And I mean to exploit that, to get those guys out and show me this is old school waterfowl hunting. And we're going to make some great things happen. Diane's going to stop in the farmer's market real quick. And we got to go get those Pomeranians.
So I just stopped in there. It's called Emily's Produce, and it's a rather large farmer's market. And I wanted to stop on the way, and Don said we'll hit it on the way back. I had no idea it would still be open at this time in the afternoon. It's 5:30. But what a neat place in there. Everything's all handmade. They've got all these homemade cheeses and vegetables and sauces, homemade crab soup. And then they've got the pastry section. Holy shit. So I got 2 apple dumplings. They look so delicious. But the thing that's I guess I've lived in the boonies too long or something. They've got so many different colors of pumpkins that were there, and all these neat gourds that are twisted and turned. There was a purple pumpkin. I've never seen a purple pumpkin, but the most beautiful one was a gray pumpkin. It looked like it had been hand painted, a beautiful gray linen color. And they had those gray pumpkins next to the white ones. And what a beautiful fall decoration. Are you following us? Are you really? What do you want to talk about? Guns? Beautiful fall decorations that I will be going back and spending a whole lot of money and get a bunch of them. Son of a bitch.
I was talking about hunting. Really? Take them fucking dumplings and that gray pumpkin
Do you not think that maybe people would like to talk about something other than your shit all the time? That maybe they would like to know that there's purple and gray pumpkins out there.
I am the star of this show.
Yeah, well, evidently you think you are. You just keep talking. You like to hear yourself talk. Go right ahead. I'm going to go home and eat my damn apple dumplings.
I'm going fishing.
Good.
Just there's some squid
I hope
in
you
there.
fall in with Michonne.
God. It's my Sunday. So, went over there, had a great time, met a lot of people, got some good advice, and I'm going fishing.
She's fishing. See, this is a problem. When we go somewhere, I'm always the designated driver. So I walked into the 4-hour event with my cup full of ice water. I'm still drinking ice water. And you're sitting over there shit-faced and can't even say the word fishing.
I had one beer, a gin and tonic, and I think that's the last half of that rum and coke. I'm going fishing.
Good for you.
So now I've figured them out. So we're going to do that. So that's our Sunday. Big ball busting day tomorrow around here. We've got a lot to do. So
We do have a lot to do, and I just...
try to get you to bed early tonight because we got to get up early.
I don't need to get up early. This is your project. I got up early when my mom and sister was here. That was my project.
I was running the damn course. You want to talk about getting up early?
I don't really want to talk about anything to you today, Don.
That's the last oyster I'm getting for you. Go chef your own damn oysters. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.